Friday the 13th. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Weather Network. Michelle Mackey joining you in today for Cheryl Plouffe with your forecast for Ontario. It is a chilly one today, the coldest day that we've experienced so far this winter season, but another cold one is coming up. More on that, but first let's check in with Kevin Yard. Thanks so much, Kevin. Stay warm out there. Also braving the cold temperatures, we have Mike Arsenault in Port Dover. Let's check in with Mike. That's right, Mike, and I'm actually going to be outside Valentine's Day, bringing you all of the coverage from the field in southern Ontario, so stay tuned for that. Here's what we can expect for today in terms of your temperatures. We are well below seasonal. We are going to be getting into some of that snowfall through the overnight, all thanks to an Alberta clipper. So high pressure in place for the afternoon. You can see the snow begins building in, and in behind it, there's your Arctic front, that cold front that passes through Saturday evening, and we are going to be well below seasonal, even colder than what we're experiencing today. Now here's your snowfall forecast. Generally, we're looking at 5 to 10 centimeters of snow through the north, lesser amounts as we head towards the GTA, 2 to 5 centimeters, and this is going to be quite light throughout the day. It's not going to be falling too quick. But another big story, as I mentioned, those cold temperatures on tap for your Sunday. Probably a good time to stay inside, warm up, because we are looking at wind chills approaching minus 40. Great advice. I myself am guilty of warming up the car for far too long. Michelle Mackey joining you, and especially on a day like today through the GTA, really good idea to warm up the car, yes, but keep the doors closed. Great advice. Making it feel like minus 19. This is the coldest day that we've had so far this year, but guess what? Sunday, going to be even colder. Now we are looking at high pressure in place for this afternoon, but we are looking at a clipper system, an Alberta clipper, quite weak. It moves through Saturday morning, strong gusts, chilly temperatures wrap in behind it, but through Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening, we are going to see some moderation in the temperatures due to some southwest winds. But before we get there, this is the snowfall that we are dealing with. You can see up towards cottage country, eastern Ontario, 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. The blowing snow icon, that means the snow is really going to be reducing visibility on the road. Now, Toronto, generally, we're looking at 2 to 5 centimeters of snow. The big story, in my opinion anyways, the cold temperatures on the way for your Sunday. Toronto, your Sunday morning temperature is going to be feeling like minus 40. This is a dangerous wind chill. The risk of frostbite is quite high when we have temperatures that low, and that is all thanks to Arctic high pressure building in behind this low. Thanks so much, Kasia. Such an important issue that really needs to be spoken about, especially on a day like today. We have extreme cold warnings in place for much of southern Ontario. Michelle Mackey joining you. And let's check in now with Kevin Yard. He's outside bearing those cold temperatures. Oh, she has a great attitude, doesn't she? Better than my attitude. I don't like the cold one bit. And you know what? I think cold is an understatement for today. Frigid is more like it. This is the coldest day that we've experienced so far this season for Toronto. High pressure in place, but you can see as we move into the evening overnight, there's your Alberta clipper that slides through along with a very cold front, to say the least. So in behind it comes Sunday, even colder temperatures than what we're experiencing today. Now, Saturday, here's your snowfall map. Generally, we're looking at about 5 to 10 centimeters of snow, lesser amounts for Toronto, but do keep this in mind if you're planning on heading out, maybe have some Valentine's Day plans for the evening. Wind is also going to be a big issue. You can see we've got sustained winds, 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. Gusts are going to be much higher though. So blowing snow, low visibility on the road for your Saturday. And come Sunday, here's a look at some of the wind chills that we can expect. Toronto feeling like minus 40. That's right, Jacqueline. And you know what? Wind chills, such an important topic on a day like today. This is the coldest day that we've experienced in the city of Toronto and much of southern Ontario this entire winter season. Michelle Mackey joining you. And let's head outside now to Kevin Yard, who's bearing all of those frigid temperatures for us. Thanks, Kevin. Good job, as always, out there, bearing the cold temperatures for us and our viewers. Also outside, Mike Arsenault, Friday the 13th in Port Dover. That's right, Mike. And you know what? I liked what you said about the sun. It looks nice outside, but when you go out and feel those frigid temperatures, it actually hurts the skin, doesn't it? All right, we are dealing with high pressure this afternoon. But as we look into Saturday, we have an Alberta clipper that slides through. It's going to be bringing us snow throughout the provinces. We're also talking extreme wind, and in behind that, cold temperatures. I'll get to that in a moment. But first, a look at the snowfall amounts we can expect. You can see generally looking at about 5 to 10 centimeters. The GTA less than 5, so we're not talking significant amounts of snow. I think the bigger story is going to come on Sunday when we are talking of frigid temperatures. The wind chills approaching minus 40. This is going to be colder than any day that we experienced last year, even dealing with that polar vortex. There's your news in a minute with Emily Vukovic. And for more news, head on to theweathernetwork.com. I'm Michelle Mackey joining you for your Ontario forecast. We are dealing with frigid temperatures today, some of the coldest that we've seen all season. High pressure is in place for today, but then check this out. Moving into our Saturday, we have an Alberta clipper that slides through, bringing us snow, wind, and then in behind it on Sunday, the cold temperatures. But before we get there, here's what we can expect in terms of our snowfall amounts. You can see we're generally looking at 5 to 10 centimeters through the north and through the east. The GTA on track to get about 2 to 5 centimeters. That's not significant snowfall, but it's enough to slow down travel plans. So if you're heading out for your Saturday evening, Valentine's Day, do make sure you give yourself a little bit of extra time if you have somewhere to be. Meanwhile, Sunday morning, snow isn't the big story. It's the cold temperatures. Not only the coldest that we've seen this year, but colder than anything that we saw last year. The city of Toronto waking up to minus 40. And I know a lot of the kids off for a long weekend, so keep that in mind. Maybe a good idea to plan some indoor activities. And behind it, I mentioned the high pressure slides into place, and that is what's dropping the temps. That's right, Mike. We are looking at snow and wind for Saturday and a drop in those temps for your Sunday. Glad you're staying warm inside, Kevin. Cold temperatures on tap for this afternoon. We will see some moderation through the overnight into Saturday morning, but Saturday afternoon into Sunday, frigid temperatures.